Welcome to Baby Dribble, proudly sponsored by SweetDreamers. Baby Dribble is a fun, friendly and free parenting advice channel. Hi, so we're live on TikTok for our very first live Baby Dribble podcast where we talk about all things baby. Lynda and Lucy here, and today we're joined by a very special guest, Susan Mitchell. And Susan is a qualified life coach and founder of This Mama Can, which aims to support new mums in what can be a really overwhelming and exhausting time. So welcome, Susan, welcome to our podcast. And would you like to explain a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Okay.
So would you like to find more time in your day in really easy, manageable steps, even if you have children or young babies? So I set up, and the answer probably to a lot of people is, oh my God, yes.
Yeah, we can do that.
And I set up This Mama Can when I was on maternity leave to help mums achieve their goals by offering coaching and planning and support. But it starts before that. My backstory, if you like, is about a year ago I had a baby, my first, and I was sat in the car one day and I was listening to the radio. And I heard an advert for something called Shout, and they are the UK's first, if you've never heard of them, they're the UK's first 24/7 crisis text line. They were looking for volunteers, essentially. And I thought, wow, this sounds really interesting. I've not heard it before, it sounds amazing. And then I thought, I really want to be involved in this. Of course, my sensible head clicks in and says, you've got a baby, a month or two on. How on earth are you going to find the time to do the training, let alone do the volunteering? So I kind of shelved the idea. 2 or 3 months passed, and I came back to it because I thought, do you know what? In life, we have so many things that we need to do. Maybe we need to go to the gym a bit more often. Maybe we need to eat a bit more healthily. But we end up doing the things we really want to do, rather than the things we maybe need to do.
Yeah.
So I went about it. I did it. I really wanted to do it. I signed up, became qualified, and to this day, I work as a crisis volunteer for Shout. So bringing it back to This Mama Can is that it started a conversation amongst my friends that have got children, or my new mum friends that have young babies like myself. And we really started talking about how we feel when we become a mum. Do we feel isolated? Do we feel overwhelmed? Does our relationship change? Did we have a really interesting, exciting job that we loved, and now we're on maternity leave and we think, what do we do? What do you do on maternity leave? Suddenly I'm thinking about all these people.
I got coffee every day.
So the schedule right now. 9 o'clock coffee.
And I was having these conversations with my friends and my mum friends. I thought there must be other people out there having these same conversations and having these same feelings. And I was certainly going through it. I totally changed my career around from pre-baby to post-baby. My relationship with my husband changed when I had a baby. You can't always be as spontaneous. You've got to plan so much more. I remember in the really early days, leaving the house felt like I was moving home. It's just ridiculous.
You always forget something, don't you?
It's like you're running back up the road. So it's a really challenging time, and it's really important to have a network of people around you that can support you through that. So I thought about it a bit more, and I went away and I got qualified and became a life coach. I set up a network of people and experts in the local area that I can refer to. So that might be to do with your health, your nutrition, your fitness. There's a really fantastic lady that I work with who is a qualified personal trainer. She does one-to-one sessions or group sessions, and she's qualified in pregnancy and postnatal training. Wellness centres that have baby-friendly classes that can help you with nutrition. And that really became, I suppose you could call it my second birth, This Mama Can. It's a lot less messy, but really, really rewarding.
You can edit that.
Be my favourite part. So, obviously, we're in really capable hands, so
we can sort us out.
Definitely sort it out. And we've got some questions that we'd like to ask you, Susan, if that's okay.
Absolutely. So if someone was to come to you, what could they expect from an initial session?
So I help mums to prioritise and set their goals. What are those things that they want to achieve in life? Some of the things that maybe we've just mentioned. And make plans and help them to get to those outcomes and to those results. So an initial session with me is a free session that's about half an hour or so long, and I like to call it the clarity session. and we sit down and we talk about what's your current status, where are you at right now, what are you feeling, how are you coping, where do you want to be, what are your goals, what are your values, what are your beliefs, how do you feel about those, and how do you think you can, if it's really different from where you're at the moment, how do you feel that you could achieve those things? And there's a really good exercise I like to do, and it's projecting yourself 12 months into the future. So you're looking back on 2020 and it's been your most amazing year, it's been fantastic. Whatever that looked like to you, what did that look like to you?
Yeah.
You know, because when we're really focusing on the positive things in our life and trying to channel those things, it's really hard to also at the same time be negative or feel disheartened because you're focusing so much on actually this really good thing happened to me, and all this year was really amazing. So that's certainly something that we talk about. We also discuss what life coaching or coaching is and what it isn't, because it really isn't counselling. Counselling is more about healing and treating maybe issues that you're going through or historical things that have happened to you, whereas coaching is much more about guidance and helping someone to focus and feel motivated to get to their dreams, their goals, their aspirations, whatever you want to
with the
call
here
it.
and now, isn't
Yeah,
it? Not looking
absolutely.
back so much.
Yeah.
I think that'd probably be one of the main questions people would have.
Yeah.
Sort of
And there's
clarified
amazing
for me
counsellors
as
out
well.
there who can help you if you really feel that you.
And then you could refer them if you feel that's what they need.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And it's probably a little bit obvious, but what are the benefits from seeing a life coach?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So a lot of us suffer from something called limiting beliefs. So we look to identify what they are and to help you to eliminate them. So what I mean by that is it might be a mental block that you have, or an insecurity, or maybe it's just not a physical obstacle but a mental obstacle that's in your way to help you progress and succeed in what you want to achieve. And maybe it's something that you put in your way, subconsciously to yourself, or maybe somebody's made a comment to you and it's been a bit flippant and they've forgotten about it, but it's always been a niggle at the back of your mind. And they've said, oh, you can't do that. When are you going to have the time to do that? Oh, it's a phase. And you thought, no, it's
and even
not.
more so when you've had a baby.
And even more so then, So that's a really good tool that you can take from that. And we touched on briefly about what your core values are. So it's a really, and even if you think it's a good exercise to do just to write it down, because maybe you'll come up with things that you haven't actually thought of before. And it can really help identify if you've got any work-life balance issues. Sometimes when you write down your core values,
in black and white.
You can really see where you're at, your current situation, you can really see that there's a conflict between the two. Like maybe your core values are your family is your heartbeat and your absolute life, but you have a job where you, I don't know, I'm making this up, but maybe you travel up and down the country and you're up when it's dark and you're back when it's dark a lot of the time, and you feel you're missing out, and you can't work out why things are not so great for you at the moment, but you see it written down and you go,
almost
well,
like a hinge list.
Yeah.
A hinge list.
Yes, well, I love a hinge list. Yeah.
So those things can be a real benefit really, and working on tools and exercises to help you to see those things for yourself, and also kind of to learn how to take accountability and ownership for how you're feeling, and to know that you have the power to change things. If you talk about it and you want it to happen, you can do it. It's the right support.
Thank you. And have you seen a rise in the need for your expertise?
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of conversation around mental health, and I think it's come a long way, in particular in I've had babies and postnatal conversations with friends or whoever it might be. And I think there's probably still a long way to go, but it's good to know that it's okay to not be okay every single day of the year. Having a baby, it's not going to be rainbows and roses every single day of the year. It's not practical, it's not feasible, but it's okay to know that that's not the case.
Yeah. And
we all have pressures, or maybe pressures that we put on ourselves. We're living at 100 miles an hour, 200 miles an hour. We've got all these things that we want to do.
Beating yourself up. Why do you do that?
Yeah, rush the children off here or there, or things that you want to do, commitments at work, or just stuff you want to get, jobs you want to get done at home. And sometimes you just need to stop and breathe and say, okay, this is too much. Why is it too much? How can I rein this in and make it more feasible for my life?
Burnout.
That's
Exactly. And then you're not used to anything,
It's in a heap.
That's it.
We've all been there.
Absolutely.
So on that sort of note, do you have any tips for a new mum listening who might be feeling overwhelmed being a new mum, or maybe it's been a couple of months?
Absolutely. I think the number one thing to say is to reach out. Don't struggle. You don't have to be alone in how you're feeling. If you reach out to a professional, your friend, your next door neighbour, your partner, there are people around you that can help you and that want to help you. You know, they care about you. They don't want to see you feeling that life is really difficult for you at the moment, or you're struggling. Or if you know somebody that maybe has become a mum recently, or somebody that you think might be just finding life a bit tricky right now, you knock on their door, take some meals around for them, ask them how they are. You know, a friend of mine, I don't think she'll mind me sharing the story. When she had a really tiny baby, she went to baby classes, and it's a small group of mums, and the teacher would stand up and say to everybody, "So, how's your week been?" And she'd say this, that, the other. And the second week she went back, and it was the same format, and she said the same sort of thing. And the teacher stopped her and said, "That's great, but how are you?" And she said, "You know, it was the first time that someone actually said to me or made me feel, how am I?"
Yeah.
She said it was, I love going to those classes. I mean, the little one loved the baby class. She said, I really loved actually having that connection with people and saying, "Oh, this week I'm," you know, and it wasn't half an hour. It was just a chat about how you are. So really important. Reach out if you need to, and if you know someone that wants a bit of support, you know, give it to them and accept that help from somebody, because they're offering it. They really mean it.
There's
no need to shame.
That's it. Feel like you're a failure.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. So
Because you
reach out.
often compare yourself, don't you? To
Well,
others.
this is it.
Other mums
that's
will
really
think,
hard.
"Oh, they're doing really
Yeah.
well. I must be, you know." And
you've
sort
only
of
seen
go
them
on
for an hour a day at the
That's
play.
it.
Yeah.
Say it's a sensory class or something like that. You've only seen them
All
for the hour.
see, like,
You're going to put your best
It's
face
nice.
forward, aren't you?
on Instagram, and they all look like they're having such a wonderful time, and you just say,
You don't know the backstory, do you? You don't know whatever stresses they've got going on in their life. It's just a snippet and a snapshot of someone's moment. It's just a minute of their day.
Yes.
That's
it. Don't compare yourself.
Don't
do it. Don't do it to yourself. Don't do it to yourself. So there's some really great tips. Thank you, Susan. And normally at this point in the podcast, we have some myths that we've put out on Instagram for our followers. But this time we've actually asked them about their experiences of motherhood.
We've reached out to the
Instagram
Instagram followers.
Yes. With our
so we asked them, what was your maternity leave period? Was your maternity leave period a positive or a negative experience? And actually, I was quite surprised. Actually, 81% said positive, so that's good.
That's really good.
And 19% said negative. So of the negative ones, we asked them, what do you think could have turned this round for you? So it was quite a mix of answers on this one. But one of them was that they felt isolated. They recently moved areas and found trying to make friends impossible. Which I suppose leads on to what you say about reaching out to other people, maybe.
Absolutely.
Obviously, that can feel a bit daunting.
It can, I know somebody who has moved with her partner's work. She's moved back to this country again. And she's expecting a little baby soon. She's got a baby that's also about a year or so old, and she said she found that really challenging. You know, she was from this area, but she's not been living here for a long time. Has come back here with a baby. She found really, really challenging, and she put herself into different groups and classes. But even when sometimes you go to these groups and move on, it can feel a bit daunting. You know, walking in there and you don't know what to expect. You've never done this before. Is anyone going to talk to you? Are you going to feel confident about talking to other people? But actually, when you break that, you know, the elephant in the room, and, you actually find that a lot of people are feeling the same things and want to help you. And it's a really
so again, reach out.
Reach out, definitely.
We had someone who said that they would like to have learned to switch off from work and enjoy every second of their little boy growing up. So I suppose it depends what kind of work you're in, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Whether you can switch
and like I was saying earlier, that's really hard if maybe you've never really had any time off before. You've had the occasional week off here or there to go on holiday, but now you've got maybe a chunk of time off. And it's just you and your baby, and you feel like maybe you're missing out on something that you're not doing for a little while. And I just think it's such a cliche, but there's so little for such a short period of time. But when you're in that time, it can feel like forever. But really cherish those moments, and you can still meet up with your friends from work and chat with them, and have a nice time.
Find out, what's been going on.
Yeah, that's yeah.
That's how we don't. We shouldn't say that. You don't want to go do something.
No, that's it. There's a lot of financial elements to this one, which I understand is, like I say, it's quite personal to the person, isn't it?
Yes.
But yeah, lots of people have being financially supported enough to take the time that they needed.
Yeah.
So I suppose whether that's over is it 9 months you're allowed?
Yes, yeah. You're such a
More
maternity.
tiny bit.
Yeah.
But yes, a lot was financially supported. So is anything?
Yeah, it's an expensive time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Having a baby. Before the baby comes, all the stuff that you want to buy, you probably buy more than you really need for
Yeah.
need to.
Yeah.
So the stuff that you don't use. So I think just be aware that you don't have to attend a group every single day of the week. You don't have to exhaust yourself. You can, if the weather's nice, it's not been recently, but you can go for a walk.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to. Sometimes some of the best things I've done in my maternity leave is just getting out of the house. It hasn't cost me anything. Just gone for a walk and one's fallen asleep or not, or gone to feed the ducks. You get some exercise, you feel better. Just seeing a little bit of daylight, really. And
And get coffee, obviously.
Yeah.
That would be like you can tell I was in Costa a lot. There are other coffee shops.
You're not sponsored.
I'm not sponsored by it. I wish I was, but I'm not.
Free coffee.
That's it.
Yeah.
The second question we asked people was, do you find it hard getting the work-life balance right? And this was really high. 83% said yes, and 17% said no. So it's obviously an issue for people.
Yeah, it is really difficult. It is really difficult, and I think just not comparing yourself to others. To do the exercise where I said about writing down what your values are and writing down the situation that maybe you're in at the moment, or the situation you'll go back to when you return to work, perhaps, and seeing how they maybe conflict or there's a juxtaposition between the two. And actually do the exercise, don't just think it through, do some of these things and write down how you're feeling, especially if initially you don't feel like you can actually talk to somebody. Record it on your phone, write it down, and just sort of work towards getting to a point where you feel that you've got more of a balance. You're probably never going to find it's completely equal. You might find that at one point you get your work sorted, but you're not quite at home as much as you need to be, or maybe it flips around the other way. You haven't been out and seen your friends, done anything social for ages, and you want to improve that. So it's always going to be a little bit up and down. Okay,
brilliant. And then this one we said, did you lose sight of your goals or dreams when your little one was born? So 66% said yes, and 34% said no. I think that's difficult because if you're tired.
And
I think maybe you don't realise, I didn't realise how much it was quite going to take over.
Especially the first one.
You
don't
don't realise.
The second one, it's like, I can do this.
I didn't think I was ever going to get out of the house without it taking an hour. Obviously, that does get a lot
easier. It takes a while to find your room for it.
And you wonder how everyone else did it.
Exactly. Going back to
how did that? How did you do that with 3?
Yeah.
Something like that. And then that's goes back to not comparing.
I think we all just wing it to a certain degree, especially like you say with your first, and we're all in the same boat. And just it's hard not to feel a bit overwhelmed sometimes. I get that, but have an awareness of when you have that feeling and recognise it, call it out. Another really good thing to do is when maybe you're feeling really worried or stressed, or maybe you suffer with a little bit of anxiety, is just to then acknowledge that, accept it, it's there, but then grab a pen and paper and write down all the amazing things that are happening in your life right now. Even if you can't think of anything, just start, and it will just come, it will just flow. And that can really help get some positive vibes flowing. It's our brains sometimes are processed to think of almost like a survival instinct, to think of the negative stuff. And then you start thinking another, and all of a sudden they're stacking on top of each other. And you feel, it's really hard to knock that down. But if you start to then think, well, actually, this is really good, and I'm meeting my friend for coffee this afternoon, that'd be really nice, and my mum's coming over, or we're doing this, or we're having a nice family activity at the weekend, and actually I'm really grateful for being healthy and happy, shifting your mindset and finding out what I think works for you.
Love a bit of positivity. I'm all for positive vibes. Susan's I'm in Susan's camp.
You are. Come join us.
It's staying here all week, just being positive. In our podcast.
But thank Instagram followers for voting. We had more votes than we've ever had before. So.
And sharing all their experiences.
Yes. Very much.
Really good, because like you say, nice sort of feedback there.
Yeah.
Interesting
Definitely.
as well.
And hopefully everyone can see that everyone's in the same camp.
We're in the camp. We need to get in Susan's camp.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming along to speak to us today. And we're going to pop all your details on the podcast write-up so that all our listeners know where to find you. And really, that's all we've got time for today. Thanks again, Susan. And as always, our Baby Dribble content can be found on YouTube and on our website, sweetdreamers.co.uk. And thank you again, and bye for now.
Hey guys, really hope you enjoyed this episode of Sweet Dreamers Baby Dribble. If you did, please share and pass it on and let us know what you think.